Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me in another of my wonderful interviews. Now, we've all heard that there might be a bit of a shortage with food at the moment. We've heard that the farmers are protesting, no farmers, no food. We know the government is acting somewhat curiously about trying to get everyone to grow flowers or put the land over to things like wind farms and solar panels. So we may be thinking, that's a bit of a problem. But where do we get good quality food from when we need it? Now, you may have noticed that every now and again I'll talk about a certain place. I'd like to give good quality places a bit of a plug, free of charge on this show. And one such place was the Good Food Project. And you may have even gone there yourself and bought it, or you may have never heard of them. So I thought it'd be a good idea to get the people behind it to come on the show and tell us about the type of stuff that they do and how they can help you. So today I'm very thrilled to have Steve and Jane from the Good Food Project. Hello, Steve and Jane. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Richard.
Hi,
How are you?
Richard. How
I'm
are you?
very well down here in sunny Worthing. I think at the moment we get one day of sunshine after 10 days of rain. Not quite sure what's going on, although I have my suspicions. And what's it like up in Scotland where you are?
It's
Not too bad
it's up and
today.
down.
Yeah.
Never cast a clue till May, as they say. Do you know that saying?
I've never heard that saying, no.
Don't not don't not don't
So
ditch your jacket until May's done. You're always going to need a big coat. So it's rainy, it's
it's four,
sunny,
four
it's up and down.
seasons. 4 seasons in one day is normally the deal up
Is,
here.
oh, right. Well, that's quite handy. Now, I can see behind you, you're obviously sitting in a warehouse because you've got a whole load of stuff there. Now, you're the Good Food Project. Tell us what that is and what you do.
Okay. Well, we were kind of like everybody who's concerned about what's going on, Richard. We were very concerned about everything that was going on, but food was a challenge.
Hmm.
And the more you dig into food, the more you realise that there's big corporations behind the supermarkets, and the supermarkets' food's full of additives, preservatives, all sorts of things that you don't want on the table for you and your family.
No. And I've been talking about all these highly processed nonsense that we've seen in the supermarkets and trying to get people to think about what they put in their mouth because, people like the wonderful Barbara O'Neill knows how important it is to have good nutritional food. And that seems to be what your remit is to supply.
That's it. Well, we just wanted to set up an alternative to the supermarkets. Now, we didn't want to just have a veg box scheme or something like that because that's not an alternative to the supermarkets. If you're going to compete with the supermarkets, you need teas, coffees, jams, honeys,
Yes.
Toiletries and personal care products and healthcare products.
meat. Everything they do, flour, seeds, nuts. So we thought we are going to create an organic good food alternative to the supermarkets that people can do a supermarket type shop. Use us and the local farmer, butcher, baker, and between that group of people, you're creating your own supermarket place, if you like.
And
Yes.
we wanted to create one that was affordable and good quality and that does support our farmers and our local food producers, our small food producers that do all have our best interests at heart, unlike the corporations and the supermarkets who don't.
Absolutely. And people are slowly beginning to wake up to that, but not clearly fast enough.
The,
Now,
the
you're not.
supermarkets know, Richard, that these people who control all of this, they understand human nature better than most.
Hmm.
They know that people are creatures of habit. Supermarket, I suppose, since the 70s are now just a habit instilled in people. It's hard to break away. And what we
Especially if they're quite local to them and they can park and things like that. It's very convenient for people, it becomes so easy that you don't think twice about necessarily venturing further afield to get
That's it.
something.
They're familiar with their websites for click and collect. They're familiar for ordering a delivery to their home.
Hmm.
They can park, as you say. These are all big draw cards for supermarkets. You know where they are. There's plenty of choice there. Their choice.
And they're open all hours as well. Nowadays, some are open 24 hours a day, so you can go in anytime. But we distribute across the UK, so we are a very good alternative to that. We're becoming more affordable. In fact, a lot of our prices are quite similar to more supermarket prices, which is our goal. We don't want it just to be for the people with bigger budgets. We want it for people who are on smaller budgets and who want to eat more healthy. People are now just more aware of what they're putting in their bodies and the effects on their health. So it's really to create a supermarket for all of us.
Absolutely, and I mean the only thing is that of course I mean we're very used to now going on some of these websites, these big websites named after a river, a famous river, and ordering stuff online. So it's not a novel thing to come to the goodfoodproject.co.uk and go through your website and order what you want, and you have a very interesting ethos about the packaging that you use and how you can help people save money in that area too.
Yeah, for meat, I mean, if you go to Tesco or Asda or one of these big soulless supermarkets, as we like to call them, you're going to get some chilled meat or some frozen meat, and you're going to take it home. But you're going to be home in 20 minutes. I've got to deliver it to you the next day. And that can be a challenge for us because people are living from one end of the UK to the other. But we've got our local delivery vans that deliver locally, but most of our customers are national. And we wanted to be national straight away, Richard. We didn't want to mess about.
No.
Because then you're not serving people and then you can't grow quickly enough. And there was very much a race against time on this. We were up against it. We wanted to have a solution for people that was there quickly. So
yes.
We've got a national delivery service available through Parcel Force and Royal Mail. They're in your streets every day anyway. We're pitching a lift on their vans. It's efficient. If we package up meat, we put it in a wool insulation, minus 23-degree ice gel packs. You've had a meat order from us,
I've had, yeah. I know exactly how it works, and it comes. I have to say, it's very professional. It all comes. It's still frozen, well frozen, when it arrives.
We do actually pack it for 48 hours, don't we? Just because sometimes Parcel Force, for whatever reason, don't get it delivered the next day. It's very rare, but it does happen. And for that reason, then we know that the meat won't deteriorate in that time and it arrives as fresh as possible. So
yeah. So your meat in that case, Richard, your meat would leave our freezers about 5 o'clock. So we would start packing that late in the day. So it's in our freezers at minus 23 degrees. If it's a frozen order that you've got, we pack it in the wool insulation. We line it with minus 23-degree ice. We pack it all up. It's in its own little freezer-like environment. It will arrive rock solid.
Yeah, and I mean it has on the times that I've ordered from you myself, so I can vouch for that. And of course, the Parcel Force are good because they'll let you know when it's coming and give you a window of when to expect the parcel.
It gives us instant scale. They've got the vans out there. They've got the network. They've got the infrastructure. They come and collect from us a huge amount of boxes. They all get shoot off in different directions and they arrive the next day. We couldn't run a volunteer van service that would cope with that. You wouldn't get to where you want to get to. Let's put it that way.
And we process our labels manually. And on the label system, when we're processing it, we can add special instructions. So if anyone, has a special place, if they're going to be out, that they want to leave their box, for instance, it might be in their shed or their back garden, then we can include those notes on the label. So it'll get included on their system and the driver will be able to see it and then deliver it and leave it in that safe space. And it's not delivered to the post office, so you don't need to phone and get it redelivered or do another trip down to the post office, the Royal Mail, to collect it. So we've got that facility as well, which is very helpful.
Yeah.
And back to your point, Richard, we ask our customers to say, well, look, if you're going to order 5 or 6 times from us for meat, for example, order on one of your orders a free returns label, package up all the wool, all the ice gel packs and send it back to us. And that makes us very efficient because now it's not costing as much. We're not adding that cost to the cost of the meat anyway. And now we've got a very efficient, environmentally friendly, if you wanted to call it that. I mean, nobody wants to waste anything, Richard. It's not to.
No, quite. Why would you? Why would you want to? Especially things like wool. You know, it's not something that is necessarily to throw away because it's got multiple use
Absolutely.
afterwards.
So we work with our customers. This is business and customers working hand in hand. This
Yeah.
is different from the supermarkets. The supermarkets just put the stuff on your shelves that they want you to buy
Hmm.
from corporate masters.
If people come to you, can people come to you and say, look, I'm really interested in this range of products. I can't see it on your website. Will you try and source it if it's available to you?
We actually encourage that. I was actually having a conversation with a customer earlier this morning, and she said that she'd seen some items that, well, she has items that she would normally include in her weekly shop, and asked if I would be able to add it. And we do encourage that because although we've created this supermarket, we actually regard it as our customer's supermarket. We want people to use us, and will only use us if we have the products that they want to buy. So I've got a long list of products that I'm constantly reviewing, and I'll add them every week. We place our orders with our suppliers on a Monday, and every week when I'm placing the orders, I'll quickly have a scoot down that list, and if there's anything there that I can see on their website, then I'll just add it to the order and create a listing for it that week.
She's a woman who loves shopping. Richard, she buys things here all the time. It's non-stop.
It's great because I'm not shopping with my money.
Well, there you go. It's a dream job, isn't it? It's a dream job, which is fantastic. So how do you source the quality of the products that you're saying? So for example, you mentioned meat. Of course, people are sort of a bit wary now about the stuff that they eat. So how do you how do you qualify the meat and range of fresh produce that you sell?
For meat, we've got Scotland's two largest organic farmers who are very, very good. Hugh Grierson Farms and Peelham Farms. They're excellent to deal with, and we deal with an English farm called Otter Valley Poultry. They're very, very good as well. But as we expand, we can bring in more. This is the key. But it's all about logistics. This is not an easy game, Richard.
Well, I wouldn't think as more and more people become aware of you. I was thinking, and we've had these conversations before about when to sort of get you on the show, because you were worried about it. Well, if we had a huge number of people supplying, could we cope? And I guess this is the thing: as more and more people discover you, and more people like the products and the service and the ethos behind what you do, hopefully the orders will be coming in. Are you able to upscale with it?
Well, if you imagine every time you do your own shopping in a supermarket, how long that takes, it's very similar to what we do here when we pack your box. We've got to whip around our shelves and pick everything that you ordered, so.
Yes.
It takes time.
It's like personal shopping, and we package it well. But this is 2 years in business, pretty much.
To the week. 1st of May.
Massively undercover. I mean, I'm ex-financial services. I was in the mortgage game. I could easily be in the mortgage game, making very, very good money. Absolutely no interest in it whatsoever, Richard. This is where our heart's at, and Jane was...
I was in the property industry, but we both found that this has actually been really good therapy for us. It kind of, we're doing something worthwhile.
We probably need therapy now after 2 years of it.
I need therapy after most days.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can
cannot, you can't sort of understate how challenging it is. I mean, we could be in here very, very late,
We're working 18-hour days during the week, aren't we? We're in here for 8.
Midnights, 1s, 3s, 4s in the morning, waking up, you're fielding TikTok, YouTube stuff, you know what it's like. That shit.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Sorry. We get messages across every social media platform, and then emails on the business, and then
text
personal
messages
and text,
and
just
Harry
everything.
Potter owls turning up at your door with little messages, and
we're handling them all ourselves, just between the two of us.
That,
As everything else, but actually, that's one of the best parts, is actually talking to the customers, even if
yes.
it's, complaints. Not that they don't really complain though.
we get very
They
nice
feel
complaints.
guilty.
If you're going to if something goes wrong, people, if something smashes in a box, it doesn't happen often because of the way we pack, but when it does, the
They're
customers are
so
always very
sorry.
nice
I
about it.
know, they just say, "I'm so sorry. Don't mean to complain. We just want to let you know so that you can
They don't
improve
want a
your."
refund, and maybe we refund it anyway, but they don't want. You're really nice customers.
Well, you see, I mean, what you're describing there, to me, is that the old-fashioned ethos of shopping, where you would go into a little shop, a grocery shop, and it's the fork handles of the two Ronnies. Do you remember that?
Yes.
It's that personal service, even though that there may be a distance and it's through the internet, but. And this is what's missing in society. We have, as you said, you described the supermarkets just now as soulless shops. And as long as they're just looking at their profit and they're selling the stuff, they're penalising the farmers and the producers to produce at rock bottom prices, which often they're producing, below the cost it takes them to make the stuff. It seems from where I'm sitting that there you are as two splendid, honourable people who are offering the old-fashioned way of shopping, albeit with modern technology. Is that fair description?
We have got,
That's what we set out to do. I mean, our hearts are in the right place. We're in the business of helping people. We're doing this for the right reasons.
And we've got to know our customers really well. I mean, we have most of them in our phones. So when they call us, we know it's them, and we can say, "Hi, Susan. Hi, Linda. Hi," and answer them personally. But we also got to know what their likes and their dislikes are. So, for instance, Susan doesn't like potatoes, so we'll put sweet potatoes in our
Everybody
veg
in here
box.
knows it. Susan doesn't like potatoes in her veg box. Swap them for something else.
So,
Yeah.
we do, and Melanie's kind of healing from cancer. So we know if there's a shortage of any fruit and veg in a specific week, then she gets first shout at the fruit and veg because we want her to, get better. So we've got most of our customers, we who have specific requests, we actually just have them in our head, don't we? And we just put a wee note. In fact, our packers now know what their stories are because they just...
As personalised as you can be for a service of this size as it grows. And back to your conversation there, Richard, we've spoke about having this meeting quite a lot. And I'm sure lots of companies would love to be on the Richard Bobes show, but we're realistic. We know that your audience are kind of in our target market.
And I mean, one of the other areas is, as I said at the beginning of this, that we keep being told that there might be food shortages and things like that, and you have bulk areas, and I've just for my own personal security for Julia and I, we've bought a number of bulk products from you, which we can store away. They're long lasting.
See, 2, 3 year, 4 year shelf life in some of this stuff and beyond. You're getting it at today's prices. You're getting it from the right warehouses. I would not want to be in a food shortage, rushing into those supermarkets to buy their food. I don't trust anything that comes out of those supermarkets at any time, particularly in dire straits.
And prices are going up. And so, for instance, we had that call with Mr. Organic the other week, and she was telling us that the price of olive oil is going up for actually the third time. It's gone up this will be the third time since the end of last year. So she gave us that advance warning. So we can therefore, we're going to order a pallet of it so that we can buy at today's prices and keep them at that until that stock has gone, and sell them at today's prices. So when they've all gone up in the supermarket in the next couple of weeks, we're still selling at today's prices until that stock is gone. So
it's funny you should say that, because I do remember we had those fires in Greece and people were saying, "Oh, that's the olive oil prices are going to be going up." So I did buy a great big bottle of the stuff, thinking, and now I'm getting low on that. And you go, "Oh, it's amazing."
You can buy a 5 litre can, or you can buy a case of 12 1 litre bottles on our pre-order system, so you can buy in bulk.
People, a 5 litre can is a good amount of olive oil, Richard, and people just decant it into their own bottles. And people are doing that with their shampoo, their body wash, their hand wash, you know, their surface cleaners, their
cleaning products. Yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of your toilet products or your cleaning products and things like that, Julia introduced me to one of them, a peppermint. Rather than the harsh bleaches and things, which is a little less.
Nice stuff, though, eh?
Yeah, smells beautiful.
Smells cleaner. It just smells less toxic.
But bleach, that bleach is just, that's the reality of the corporate world. Look at the smell of bleach in the toilet. Is that really a nice smell for a home?
And then when you flushed it away, it's going somewhere. And what I always wonder if the water treatment companies who then
here,
can they clean it sufficiently and get it back to the customer? Not that I would advise anyone drinking
we sell
tap
a lot
water.
of products, Richard. Even this is like the.
They don't know about that yet.
Oh, it's online.
Is it?
Is that the water
bottle?
Hydrogen water. It's amazing though. It's really, really good stuff, and meant to be really good for your gut.
Yes, people are slowly beginning to understand.
Drink more water with it. Definitely drink more water with it. It's a handy little size. These are good little tools that people can. So because we're on the same page as everybody, we're buying a lot of the things in that they want. So it's
absolutely, which is hard to source if you don't know where to go.
Well, if you walked into a supermarket that was like us, and you saw everything that we had, Barbara Neal books, the lovely Barbara, all these amazing books that we've got.
All the new health and well-being section that we've added with essential oils and carrier oils and
slippery elm, shilajit, ashwagandha. If you walked into Lion's Mane, if you walked into a supermarket and you'd be in heaven on earth. You'd be like, this is the best supermarket I've ever been in.
Well, let's. I'm just going to put up your website. So let me just go and find that here on the thing, so we can all go and have a quick look at that. And here it is. You mentioned Barbara Neal on your homepage. There she is. And we'll talk about the seminars in a moment.
Yeah, she's coming to do some 2 events for us in September,
which will be amazing. We'll talk about that. And so here we go. We can just have a quick look there. You've got your books. You've got Charles Dowding, who I've interviewed on the show, and Dawn Lester, who I interviewed here with What Really Makes You Ill, which is a fantastic book, and all of that.
That is a section that we are looking to expand. That's the next big section, actually, that we're looking to expand, because we do believe that books are going to be, or are, an essential resource, because they're basically a reference library that you can keep in your own home. So that is a category that will be expanding.
And you see there the view all section, Richard, so you can click in there. You don't need to do that just now, but you can click in and you can see all the sort of books and things that we've got just now.
Oh yeah, there we go. Lots of health stuff, which, as you say, and I think books, the internet can be changed. People can edit, as you've seen with Wikipedia and things. Whereas if you've got a printed book and the information is there and solid and reliable, it's there and it's on your shelf and you can grab it any time. I see you've got Clive de Carle's products, which is great. Of course,
they're big sellers. I mean, people love Clive's stuff. It's all really pure, amazing products.
Yeah.
He's been on the show, of course, and there's your hydrogen water bottle.
And that's the same. That's a very similar one to the one Gary Brecker talks about. Gary Brecker will be known to a lot of your audience, where he talks about the benefits of the hydrogen. So he talks about an Eco Plus. This is a very similar type model, but cheaper, but we think better.
There you go. Cheaper and better. Can't go wrong. And you've got your coffee. I drink that. I've ordered some from you. And then we can see your popular links here, all sorts of bits and bobs, your fruit and veg, your breads, your organic meats and mature cheese. I have to say I've been buying your cheese and absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Which is great, and various, all this sort of wonderful stuff that you have on the site. And of course, I dare say,
you go up to the top, Richard, there's a wee bit section for health and well-being. If you
go back to the top, did you say?
Yeah, if you go back to the top. essentials. If you click into there,
Health and
click on
wellbeing.
health
Here we
and
go.
well-being.
This is a category that we just created at the weekend because a lot of these items weren't searchable unless you actually keyed in the specific items. So this is a really helpful resource for people wanting to find things to self-heal and look at
Brilliant.
themselves.
But some of the stuff's, I mean, and a lot of the stuff's referenced in books, and a lot of people have done their own research. So everything that we're all researching, we're all researching for natural self-healing.
And the brands that we do stock, that's one of the conditions that we insist upon. Any brands that we stock, there's no connection to big corporations. They've all got to be family independent or just small businesses.
Yeah. Oh, that's very good. I'm a bit worried now. If Julia sees this, she'll be buying all sorts of stuff. But good for her, because as you say, it's all about getting the real stuff, which is fantastic. And the website's easy to navigate. You've got your menus and
it needs a bit work done on it, but it's a constant work in progress, really. But we're getting there.
And again, the pre-order side. So if you, that's a sort of a bundle of bestsellers there. So we have these bundles as well, where people can go in and they can, click a button and add a lot of stuff to their cart and get a very special deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shop for them if they want to. So, for instance, the minimal products, the cleaning products, or cleaning or personal care ones, they can we put a bundle together to help them just do a quick shop, so they don't need to think about it, and then they'll make a saving on that.
Yeah, Celtic sea salt. I can see that. Actually, I need to order some Celtic
we
sea salt.
We sell absolutely. I mean, this is a thing, Richard. Think about this. That's a massive seller. That's selling on TikTok that size for £20.
Is it really?
And not our shop, but for £6.99. That's the correct discounted price for Celtic sea salt. Lasts you for ages.
Yeah, absolutely. And Barbara O'Neill goes on about that with water. Putting the minerals back in, which is.
Well, it's Barbara O'Neill that basically causes the run on Celtic sea salt. She's she's made it popular because everybody's watching her videos. She's absolutely amazing.
And so you've got her coming. Just to talk about that then, because I know you've got her coming in September. You have 2 amazing 2-day events. It says here lined up with Barbara and other guest speakers. And
if you click on that book tickets, that'll take you through. So we've got an events website there where basically. And on that little video, if people watch that video, there's a video there of Michael O'Neill and I. Michael O'Neill, Barbara's husband, was overseeing us, so we're the exclusive distributors for their book in the UK, their books.
And you very kindly, I have to say, it's some bull bloke that I recognise there. You very kindly sent me a couple of her books, which, by the way, thank you very much.
No problem.
And I've been reading the one which is the assassination of.
That's very interesting. Michael wrote that because Barbara got banned in Australia for life. A 70-year-old woman who recommends you get more sleep, drink more water, exercise, take Celtic sea salt, eat well.
It is amazing, isn't it, that she was banned for just saying the truth and very simple things. It's not as if anyone's doing anything particularly weird, odd practices, but just taking water and Celtic sea salt together. I mean, and
but her voice has grown louder as a result. They can't stop the truth, and she talks, and what she says resonates with people, Richard, and that's the key.
Yes, absolutely. No, you're quite right. And I mean, they don't learn that, do they?
We sell loads of these books, absolutely loads of these books.
Thousands.
Do you? Yeah, and no doubt hopefully you'll sell a few more as a result of being on the show, which will. Well,
the thing is, people can buy the book and buy their organic food and stock up and buy their zero water filters and get their meat and poultry and fresh veg and all the rest. They can do it and
create their own refillery of personal care products and cleaning products. They don't need to be going backwards and forwards to the supermarket.
See, that's where the supermarkets have got you, Richard. And it's a very clever, again, back to this creatures of habit. They understand this. They're selling you small bottles of fairy liquid.
Yes.
Why have they never sold you 5-litre bottles of fairy liquid? Because they want you back every week.
Of course they do. That's right.
Buying other things. So you might make a £10 saving on it, but you end up spending £10 on other products that you wouldn't have bought otherwise.
Yeah, and if you can't, I mean, blokes I think are much easier than ladies. Now I may get slated for that, but when I would go shopping, I'd go into there with fairly heavy blinkers, going, I know I just need this, this, and this, and mostly that would be what I would come out with. But when I was married, or if with the lovely Julia, bless her, there would be a number of things that are eye-wateringly attractive on the shelves at eye level. They're very good with the psychology, and you come out, and half the time, as you said before, I wouldn't trust what's in it.
Well, buy one, get one free, but why have they got that offer on now? What's making them want to sell you that product en masse really quick?
Yes.
And it's always the heavily processed convenience foods that they've got those offers on. So they want you loaded up with sugar and all sorts of
if you look at it, Richard, you get your Yucca app out and go round the sweets section of a supermarket and look at the dangerous scores for food that they're putting on, or sweets that they're putting on the shelves for our kids.
Yeah. And kids don't understand it. They see it and they want it and they nag. The supermarkets know about the nagging power of the young kiddie. Whereas if you're sitting online in the evening, the kids are hopefully playing outside and running around climbing trees and all of that, and you can be inside on a web page ordering sensible food that is healthy. And that's what you're offering.
How did they get away with it? How have they managed to put that food up there and people turn a blind eye?
Well, that is
Can a parent in 10 look at the problems kids have got now, Richard, with ADHD and all the other things. Look at the problems people have got, the medication people are on. Can a parent back in 10 years' time and say to their kid who's got problems then, darling, the food I was buying, that microwavable food I was buying was cheaper, darling. Really? That's what you want to say. That so you poisoned them to save some money.
And some of our customers, they have said, our regular ones who shop with us every week, they say that their shopping budget hasn't actually gone up, even though organic food is generally slightly more expensive than non-organic. It hasn't gone up because they're not in the supermarket impulse buying, and they're not buying more than they actually need. They're buying good, nutritious food and creating meals from scratch. And it's
and we've found both Julia and I, and she buys for her 2 kids at home, and we're together, but we live separately at the moment, and we both agree that when you buy nutritious food, you don't eat as much, so you don't need to buy as much. Whereas when you're buying all this other stuff, you eat it, it's digested, you're still hungry, and you end up buying more of the crap, which is costing you lots of money. And as you say, you're not any healthier, and then you've got the health risks associated with it, and prescriptions, and the costs of all of that.
Even the fruit and veg alone, when you make, for instance, a pot of soup, it's just denser, and it tastes better, and it is obviously more nutritious, so you don't need so much of it.
It's like the chicken, Richard. That chicken is a good example. You're getting a chicken at a supermarket. Look at some of those whole chickens in a supermarket. They're scrawny little things.
Yeah.
And the water that comes out of them.
But they're been made to grow faster than a chicken normally would to hit targets. And those hormones and additives that are in that chicken, and that horrible karma and life that chicken's had, you're eating that, and people are pecking each other and scratching. They're just as bad as those. They're digesting some of that horrible life that chicken had, and they're digesting the hormones that made that chicken bigger than it should be to get on your plate faster. None of that can be good.
No. It isn't good, and I think most of my audience, of course, will know, they're aware of this. Although it is interesting when I go and do talks and I say to the audience, how many people still go to the supermarket? And these are awake people, and more or less half the room will put their hands up. And I think it's because they just do not know. If they don't live near a farm shop, they don't know where to go. And this is where people like yourselves, who are offering an alternative, a healthy, sensible alternative, comes to the fore. And that's the reason to have you on the show. You know, it's not just like I'm helping to make you money, as it were. It's to help people understand there is an alternative to the highly processed rubbish food that we have been led to believe is what we eat.
This is an interesting one in the UK. A tin of beans, right?
Yeah.
Organic tin of beans. I'll try to get that round the right way. Yeah. Mr. Yeah. We get amazing feedback on these beans, right? One of the big supermarkets that begins with a T, they sell organic beans. Most of the supermarkets have got their own brand organic. Why? Why did they have to? Why couldn't they buy Mr. Organic or Biona? That organic stuff's already been made. Why not team up with them?
Mm.
They wanted to. They knew people were escaping their clutches and moving to organic. They wanted to bring it back so they had control of it again. So they created their own organic. Entry level organic with a small O, Richard.
Mm.
Look at the reviews for the organic beans on some of these big supermarkets. People are saying they look bullets. The word organic fools people. Not all organic's equal. They're bringing in organic garlic from China. One of the worst, again, but it says organic and it says the supermarket's name and it looks like garlic.
Those baked beans get the best reviews.
But that's just one example. All of that stuff's better.
Yeah.
Tastes better, more nutritionally dense, better quality. The proof of the pudding's in the eating.
Well, exactly.
Fun.
To shop really is the easiest protest, because to continue to shop in these supermarkets is just to continue to fund their agenda. So if everyone, I mean, anything that evokes great change really is a numbers game. So the more people that shop with us, for instance, or your local farm shop, or support your farmers, that will help to facilitate the greatest transfer of wealth from these huge corporations and supermarkets back to the local communities, and take away the control that they have on our high streets, on our health, on our food supply, on the control of our food supply. It's a numbers game.
And de-risk yourself. Like, a lot of people have dodged a lot of bullets over the last few years.
Mm.
Very few have dodged the corporate fake food bullet.
I think we're slowly beginning to become aware of it, but it's going to take time. And it's having alternatives, and that's what you're presenting here.
That's why we wanted to be big fast. We had to be big fast, Richard. There wasn't alternatives. You'd just be in a little local veg box scheme in Scotland if you didn't do it the way we've approached it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, listen, thank you so much for talking to me about it. Looking forward to coming up and meeting you in person when we do the September talks with Barbara O'Neill.
Yes, and you're going to be involved there as well and helping us. You do your Richard Bobes thing, your juggling and your comedy, and
I'll do something, I'm sure, which will be great fun. And that's the thing. It's more than just, it's a family, isn't it? It's we're all on the same page, and it's not just about the profit. It's about all of us getting together and enjoying and thriving at life.
Lining. That's the silver lining of what we've gone through the last couple of years, isn't it? For us, it's just meeting all these people that we wouldn't otherwise have met. And they've just got a different vibe about them. Everyone's just so lovely, and non-judgmental, and just wants the best for everyone.
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely
the silver lining of the last couple of years.
We're very pleased with the customer base that we've got and the support that we've had, and it will continue to grow. And we'll continue to grow with it. We're getting better every day. We'll run this place 24 hours. Amazon runs 24 hours. We'll run 24 hours.
We already are, kind of.
Oh,
Makes
bless
a
you.
difference. So it opens it right up when you do things like that. But yeah, so
Yeah, yeah. So people can find you at hang on, I've got to remember now. Is it Good Food Project or The Good Food Project? It's Good
just
Food Project. Yeah.
goodfoodproject.co.uk.
.co.uk, and they can log on there. I'll put the link in the description so people can find you,
Yeah,
of
follow us
course.
on Facebook, follow us on TikTok, and we're on Telegram and all that as well.
Yeah, that would be great. And do you do special offers every now and again? A
Yeah,
special
people
thing of
on
the
the
week?
newsletter. Yeah, people sign up to the newsletter for email. If we've got a special deal or a promotion, we'll send that out by email.
Oh, that's brilliant. Wonderful. Well, thank you both, Steve and Jane, for talking to me about what your venture is. And we need to see more of this across the country. People getting up, not necessarily in food, but in all sorts of different areas, providing alternatives to the big corporations. Because once people move away from those big corporations and deal with real, honest people again, we will have a society, if society is the right word, we will have a land of people who are respectful and honourable and not being cheated out of every damn thing just for the money
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
all of that we've seen in recent times. So thank you so much for coming on the show and telling us about what you're doing.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having
Richard.
us.
No doubt now you'll be back to the boxes and the orders
Get back into our
yeah,
Our work here.
absolutely.
back into our dirty sweatshirts and joggies.
Bless you both. Well, there we go. Steve and Jane at the Good Food Project. .co.uk. Check it out. Link in the description. I'll be back with more monologues and, of course, more wonderful interviews. Do go and see what they've got on their website. I'm sure people have been looking as they've been watching, which is great. Till next time, from Steve, Jane, and myself, thanks for watching. Goodbye.